Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here with Rich Campbell live at Latshaw McCarthy Field for tonight's Pac-10 matchup between the Norristown Eagles and the METHACTON Warriors. Rich Campbell, of course, former baseball coach of the Norristown Eagles.
Hi, Ian.
First pitch of the night has popped up. Should be routine, and it does not. It falls in between the second baseman and right fielder. A little Texas League base hit, and a fortunate base hit there for Andrew McMoneagle. Now batting from METHACTON, number 2, Patrick O'Neill.
Chiodo makes a good pitch on the first pitch. The batter swinging away. Just lobs a little blooper just out of reach. And second baseman Tyler Costello.
Unfortunate start there for Norristown, as he did get in on his hands.
That ball was high and outside. We got a 1-0 count.
Beautiful night for baseball, Rich. You know, we're looking at 65-degree temperatures, just a little bit of breeze out there.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal start for a nice night for folks to come on out and enjoy your neighborhood kids.
On the hill for Norristown tonight is Nick Chiodo. Misses away. 2 balls and no strikes to Patrick O'Neill. And a throw over the first, back easily is McMoneagle. Rich, now that you're back here at Latshaw McCarthy Field, any feelings as
well? Reminds me of last year. We had a great game here with Plymouth Whitemarsh in our final Suburban 1 home game. Kids are out here now in the pack, and they're gutting it out. They're doing their best.
Just all the outside corners. Chiodo now 3 balls and 1 strike.
We were in a little bit of a barn burner last year. Plymouth Whitemarsh went up pretty big, and then we mounted a great comeback, and we just ran out of time there.
That ball's popped up, and it is caught by first baseman Zakir Watson, 1 down.
That's a great job of Chiodo battling back from being down 3-0.
You got a 3-1 pitch. You're going to look to do a little bit of damage there. Again, Chiodo got in on his hands a little bit. And
he's doing a really good job of staying out of the middle of the plate tonight. He's moving off of the outside corner and then bringing the ball inside. So the batters are not getting a real good read off of him.
Now batting from the back at number 27, Demetrio Rodriguez. So the 3-hole hitter, Demetrio Rodriguez, now up for METHACTON, 1 on, 1 out. Just underway, and he rips one into the gap into left center field, and it is going to be caught. Great play by Cole Messick out there in left field as the ball hung up just long enough for Messick to make a play, and there are 2 outs.
Yeah, Messick did a great job of tracking that ball. He got a good jump on it. He took a great line to it, straight across the field, cut it off, made the catch look easy on a ball that was hit right into the gap.
Now batting for METHACTON, number 35, Ben Christian. So Ben Christian, big right-hander, number 35, the power source from the METHACTON Warriors, try to extend this inning. Chiodo from the stretch, misses high and away with a curveball. Rich, you coached Chiodo last year, is that correct?
That is correct. He was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore.
What's the book on him as far as stuff is concerned?
Well, last year he struggled with a little bit with his confidence, and we really worked with that with him. He's a lefty. He has to work the outer parts of the plate, then work back inside. He has to stay out of the middle. He's not an overpowering pitcher. He has to hit his spots.
You may have heard of a non-overpowering pitcher from Souderton, Pennsylvania in the name of Jamie Moyer, who went on to 20-plus years of success in Major League Baseball. There goes the runner. It's a hit and run, and a fly ball to center field. Catch is made by Antonio Dunn. So a nice job by Chiodo to retire the next 3 batters after the leadoff man got on. We'll head to the bottom of the first. No score.
Chiodo did a great job of using his players in the field. He put the ball in spots where players were able to track down balls. Great job, Nick.
Alejandro Lava, Nathan Conaway. Should I do this now? Sure. All right. We'd like to take a minute to recognize the Bell Credit River Bandits Little League. Aiden Setzler, Connor Walsh, Dustin Harris, Mateo Mendez, and Jose Rojo. The Bell Credit Red Wings, Anthony Joya, Alejandro Lava, Nathan Conaway, and with Bell Credit Express, Ethan Edmond and Jackson Saylor.
You didn't do the Iron Pick, did you?
I just did. Whatever was there.
You gotta add this to the Yeah.
Let's see, we gotta get the fountain here.
Well, I opened that and then Hayden Miller. Did Hayden get a hat? Yeah, he did.
All right, that sure does. Sure is like professional. See, what we need is Tony to get a press box built onto the roof of the gym locker room.
Leading off for Norristown, number 27, Tyler Costello.
Tyler is probably the Eagles' best player. Last year, he was able to garner third-team All-Suburban 1 honors, and he was really the kind of the stick that stirred the drink for us. When he was there, we were ultra competitive.
Well, he'll look to get a thing started here for the Eagles. And the first pitch of the night from the Warriors nearly hits Pastella. Clearly, I believe METHACTON going to try to establish the inside part of the plate there, Mr. Campbell.
Yeah, well, Tyler likes to crowd the plate, too.
That ball is ripped down the left field line, but it is foul.
Just foul.
Pastella a little bit out in front of a fastball, looks like there. He's got pretty quick hands.
Yeah. My definition of Tyler Pastella is he is just a down and dirty Dykstra-type baseball player. He's looking for any way or any angle that he can take advantage of, and he will take advantage of it.
Well, here's the windup by Griffin in the 1-1 pitch. That does hit him. So, again, Costello will be a leadoff base runner as Griffin tried to come in and came in a little bit too much. And if you're going to catch a pitch anywhere, I guess you want to take it like he did there on the behind. Is that right, Rich?
Well, that's generally the place that has the most padding.
Now batting for Norristown, number 4, Dylan Kopstick. So we'll see what kind of type of baseball Norristown going to try to play here. Whether they want to move the runner or try to have a big inning as Dylan Kopstick. And right on cue, puts a bunt down. It's an excellent bunt, and he will move the runner.
Yeah, Dylan's pretty fundamentally sound. He was good at moving runners. He hitting to the right side.
Now batting for Norristown, number 16, Tyler Gorman. So now a chance for Norristown to get on the board first. As an excellent sacrifice bunt by Dylan Kopstick. He gave himself up. And we got Pastella over there in scoring position at second base.
Tyler Gorman's part of the young Eagles core here. He was also a freshman for us last year who played varsity. He played second base last year. But he's constantly working at his game, and we had advised him to really work on his throwing so that he could build up his arm strength. We wanted to move him to shortstop.
A little bit out in front of a breaking ball right there. And 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on second. No score. Bottom of the first inning. Here's the stretch and the 1-1 pitch. That ball is dribbled to first base in between hop, and it looks like it's going to be an error as safe at first base is Gorman. Costello moves to third, and sure enough, it is an error. A little bit in between hop there. Unfortunate luck there for the Warriors.
Again, Gorman does the right thing, hits the ball to the right side, advances to runner to third, where in high school ball you never know when a ball get in the dirt, get away from the catcher, and a runner can score from third.
Now batting for Norristown, number 24, Nick Chiodo.
Eagles have first and third, one out. Great situation here to jump on METHACTON Warriors early.
Looks like they're in at the corners. They'll concede a run with the ball hit the second or shortstop. Couple of throws over there to first base.
Just looking for Chiodo to put the ball in play up the middle. That'll score the run for sure.
Well, you certainly have good wheels over there at third base in Costello. Here's the stretch. And Griffin comes with a pitch. Curveball on the outside corner for a strike.
That was a charitable strike call.
Well, I would agree with you, Rich, but sometimes you got to extend these corners, or we could be here for quite some time.
Well, it should be within the batter's box.
Now the stretch. And the 0-1 pitch, way away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nick Chiodo. See if Norristown will get a little action here at first base, maybe try the old stolen base, and sure enough, there he goes. And he is going to be safe at second base.
It's under the tag as the ball was thrown to the left side. Shortstop had to reach back for it, and that enabled Gorman to get in there under the tag.
And also, Norristown is not vulnerable to the double play with a runner at second now and a runner at third with less than 2 outs. An excellent opportunity for Norristown to try to take an early lead.
Nice hitters count for Chiodo here, too, with a 2-1.
Chiodo grounds 1-2.
And Costello makes a huge base running mistake.
And out at third base is Costello as he was caught in between. The ball was bobbled there at third base by Ben Christian, but he was able to keep it in front of him. They got Costello in a rundown, and some unfortunate blunders on the base paths might have cost Norristown a chance to score early here on in this game.
Yeah, on that ball hit right to the third baseman, he has to get right back to the bag. There can't be a second thought, and he was thinking that maybe he would fake going back and the runner and the throw would go over to first to get the sure out, but the bobble enabled the third baseman to then catch him in the rundown.
Now batting for Norristown, number 11, Matt Bates.
Definitely a base running mistake, though, by Costello. His first thought should be getting back to the bag in that play.
So from second and third with 1 out, we go to first and second with 2 outs. This will be up to Bates to try to get a 2-out hit to give Norristown its first lead. Takes a fastball in the inside corner for the strike, 0-1. Here's the stretch by Griffin. And the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss at high cheese. You coached Matt Bates last year, that's right, Rich?
Yes, we did.
Is he vulnerable to the high stuff?
No, he's actually got a pretty good bat. He usually makes generally pretty good contact, a line drive hitter.
Barely clips one to stay alive.
Nice
there.
short swing, so he does make contact.
Well, we'll have to choke up here. Down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. As Norristown had a golden opportunity to take a lead, but base running blunder by the normally steady Tyler Costello. Norristown need a 2-out hit to try to get on top. Throw over the first, back easily. Griffin gets his sign. The stretch in the 0-2. And it is cued in the left field, and that ball is going to be caught. An
Nice.
unbelievable catch out there in left field by Andrew McMoneagle as he saves major damage for the METHACTON Warriors.
McMoneagle made a hell of a diving catch down the line. That was very nice. Took a good line to the ball, laid out for it, and made the grab at his knee high.
So great play by METHACTON. We'll head to the top of the second. No score. All right, what's the next one? The Five Saints Distilling Iron Pigs. Jaden Heiser,
Five Saints Distilling Iron Pigs.
Jaden Heiser, Jose
Whatever you say, something.
Andrade, Andrada. How the hell do you say that? Andre, Haley Zernone, Ezekiel Nunez, Steve Swartworth, Tyree Holmes, Caden Williams. I'll go with the next one. You have plenty of time. So, you're about to get indicted for your taxes. No, I need Norristown. I have that.
Oh, I thought you had Norris.
Yeah, but I have it on my phone, so I think it always turns off. I don't have this guy's number. Can you see who it is? Number 5. Danny Visnall. Now batting for METHACTON, number 18, Danny Visnall.
Chioda starts him off on the outside corner with a curveball for called strike 1.
Wind up, curveball, well high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the windup. Fastball misses up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch is ripped up the middle. Good hop kept in front of him. And an excellent play there by Tyler Gorman as Tyler Gorman stayed on top of the ball. Bit of an in-between hop, but he was able to keep it in front of him and make a nice play.
Yeah, that was a much stronger throw by Gorman than he could make last year. Last year he relied on his quickness of his hands. That year he really sent a P over there. He did a great job.
Now batting for METHACTON, number 22, Jason Ekman. So Chiodo's been efficient so far, hasn't run many deep counts. And were it not for a Texas League single, he'd have 5 up and 5 down. He starts Ekman with a fastball in the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Ball misses low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chioda doing a really good job of mixing up his fastball and his curve.
We'll see which one he goes with here as the count is even at 1-1. Has a fastball and is ripped foul down the left field line. He's got the jump on Ekman. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Again, he's doing a great job of hitting the inside and outside and staying away from the middle of the plate.
Something that the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen has not been able to do over the course of the last week. So Chiodo now couldn't connect with Matt Hahn behind home plate. Ekman, tired of waiting, he steps out. Now we're set, and the 1-2. Curveball misses just a bit high. Two balls and 2 strikes. Now the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Misses way high and away, and the count is run full. I should have kept my mouth shut, Rich, about running deep counts. Sure enough, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's always a way to black cat yourself.
Now Chiodo with a windup. Payoff pitch. Misses high and away for a ball. And looks like he's having a little bit of trouble with his footing out there as he looked down at his landing point. Didn't seem very happy. Now batting for the Warriors, number 11, Connor Smith. So METHACTON, 1 on, 1 out, no score, top of the second. This Pac-10 league matchup between two ancient foes. And there's a pitch on the inside corner as Chiodo has got the jump on Smith. You know, being a lefty, Rich, you got to think it's easier for Chiodo to keep runners kind of close to first base, not let them get too far off. That ball is hit in the right field. It's going to be a base hit.
Nice little seeing eye single
And
there.
almost throwing behind the runners. There might have been an opportunity as Visnov overran second base, but cutoff throw went just beyond second base. But again, METHACTON in business now with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, Nick Edling out in right field. He likes to show his arm, and he overthrows. He overthrows the cutoff man. Makes a nice one-hop throw to third, but you're right. He did miss the opportunity there to possibly catch that runner napping.
So Chiodo in a bit of a jam now. 2 on, 1 out. Ball wasn't hit particularly hard. You got to think if there's nobody on first base, that's probably a routine play for Watson over there at first. The 1-0 misses away. It looked like he overthrew that, Rich.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it looks like Nick's trying to put a little bit of extra on the ball, and he's losing his control in the meantime. I think if he just settles back in and concentrates on his spots, he'll settle right back down to being efficient.
Curveball misses low, and he has fallen behind Dubost. 3 balls and no strikes. 1 ball away from loading the bases here.
He also appears to be rushing through his motion. I think he needs to maybe slow down and take a breath.
There's the stretch. 3-0 misses away, and he walks him on 4 pitches, and now the Warriors have the bases loaded. Now batting for METHACTON at number 5, Seamus Shields. So getting a visit from the pitching coach right now is Nick Chiodo, as he will try to settle down. And you can see, Rich, just like you said, he's getting some advice on the technique out there.
With Nick last year, his biggest problem was his confidence. The minute he would have an inning like this, you could see his body language and everything else that he would start to lose a little bit of confidence, and then he would start pushing things. I know this year he's done a lot better with that as he's getting a little older, a little more mature. Hopefully we'll see him work his way out because they haven't really made great contact on him. He's done a good job of keeping the ball softly hit, except for the 1 ball out to Antonio. So I think if he just puts the ball in play and lets his fielders do the job, we'll be able to get out of this.
Well, he's flirting with danger now, but a great play as a comebacker, as they'll at least get the out at home plate. As a great play, good reaction by Nick Chiodo. Thought maybe for a second if he got the ball out cleanly and thrown home, they might have a chance at 2, but he certainly saved a lot of damage right there. Now batting for METHACTON, number 7, Andrew McMoneagle.
Yeah, Nick kind of soft-tossed that one in there, and he almost airmailed the catcher. Fortunately, Hahn was present and made the play and got his foot down on home plate.
Well, METHACTON now back to the top of the lineup as they've seen Chiodo once. Oftentimes, as you know, Rich, the more times you get to see a pitcher, advantage offense. 1 ball, no strikes.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought that was a strike, but it looks like Blue might have called,
That
I
was
guess,
ball
high.
2, right down the middle.
We have a tough perspective here to judge the height of the strikes, but that certainly looked good from here. Nevertheless, 2 balls and no strikes to McMoneagle. There's a strike. McMoneagle certainly seems like he's comfortable hitting with 1 or 2 strikes on him. Chiodo, the windup, and the 2-1. Catches the inside corner for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A nice job by Chiodo to come back and battle back after falling behind 2-0. Chiodo comes from the windup in the 2-2. Curveball misses way outside, and the count is run full. You give in and throw a fastball here, Rich?
I think he's going to come back with the curve.
Now the 3-2 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And an
Nice
excellent
job.
job by Chiodo to battle back. And the Warriors leave the bases loaded as we'll head to the bottom of the second. No score.
We'd now like to take a moment to recognize the Five Saints Distilling Iron Pigs. Jaden Heiser, Jose Andrade, Haley Zernone, Ezekiel Nunez, Stephen Sharpless, Kyrie Holmes, and Caden Williams.
Each graduate's name is important to his or her family. Please refrain from thunder.
You did go a little Doyle on that one.
I'm his voice doppelganger. We should be joined in the booth by Mike Santangelo shortly. Try to get him involved in some conversation. You write down
Looks like Matt Hahn.
Now batting for Norristown, number 7, Nick Edling.
So Nick Edling leading off for Norristown here, bottom of the second. And it looks like that ball is going to be ruled as a foul ball, as Edling will stay alive, albeit no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that ball went off Nick's foot.
So Norristown, who's had a little bit of trouble scoring runs this year, had an opportunity in the bottom of the first, as Edling is going to try to get him started here in the bottom of the second. Hits the ball on the ground. Easy play for Ben Christian. He gloves, and he throws him out. Edling gets down the line in a hurry, but Ben Christian with a nice release. 1 up, 1 down.
Now batting for Norristown, number 14, Zakir Watson.
Edling had a little bit of a Michael Franco swing with his hips all the way down in the third base coach's box before the ball got there. Then he just rolled over a weak ball to the third baseman. Made a nice play over to first. He did hustle down the line and try and beat that one out.
Watson takes the first pitch off the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. And same pitch there again. Watson not happy with that call. And I will tell you, Rich, the ump is definitely giving him the corners and then some tonight.
Yeah, he might have a steak dinner waiting for
I'm
him.
going to
at
say, if
home
you have dinner
tonight.
plans, you're probably going to make them. Little cue shot to second base. Connor Smith, gloves, throws, and again. A retired batter as Watson got down the line in a hurry, but nice play by second baseman Connor Smith. Leads to the second out.
Now batting for Norristown, number 15, Cole Messick.
So nothing doing so far in the bottom of the second for Norristown as Cole Messick will try to get something started with 2 outs. And he is jammed, and the ball is popped up to left field. And the play is made out there by left fielder Andrew McMoneagle. So a very, very easy inning for the Warriors there, as it looked like Zach Griffin was dialed in.
Yeah, that was a quick and efficient inning.
We'll head to the top of the third. No score. This down just on a piece of paper.
You want the lineup straight
Just
down?
put their numbers, yeah, because that's their lineup. And every time the phone turns off, I get hit with code and shit like that. So. What is this? Norristown. So what is it saying now for the? This is only name last name. I mean, I understand exactly. Russell. 26. Russell. They really want that? Lucky, I mean, I would. Sean, yeah,
He's got to give you a first name. Is he down there? Is he down there? Does he know the first name?
tell them they're gonna have to clean that up because I'm not doing that.
Now batting from METHACTON, number 2, Patrick O'Neill.
And Giotto, who did a great job getting out of the top of the second. First pitch is roped into center field for a leadoff single.
Yeah, Gorman laid out for that ball, caught off the edge of his glove. He wouldn't have had to play at first base anyway.
Now batting from METHACTON, number 27, Demetrio Rodriguez.
So Giotto, who had a beg, borrow, and steal to get out of the top of the second, sees the leadoff runner get on base. And now he'll have to deal with big designated hitter Demetrio Rodriguez and the METHACTON Warriors. O'Neill looked like he was taking a pretty big lead there at first base. Here's the stretch. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike.
First inning, Rodriguez hit that rope into left field that Messick's tracked down in the gap. He seems to be sitting on a fastball.
Play off the bat that looked like extra bases. You might have got off the end of the bat just a little bit as it kind of died out there in left field. Throw over the first. O'Neill back easily. There goes the runner for second, and the ball is off the shortstop, Tyler Gorman, into center field. And METHACTON is going to have first and third with nobody out. Now the ball is thrown away, and with nobody there to cover home plate, the METHACTON Warriors are going to take an early 1-0 lead. Some lackadaisical play there by the Norristown Eagles gifts METHACTON the first run of the ball game.
Yeah, Nick Chioda kind of got caught in spectator land and forgot to actually play in the game as he stood there to the left of the pitcher's mound and kind of just watched this all develop in front of him. I'm sure Coach Sturgeon is going to give him a little talk about.
Now batting for METHACTON, number 35, Ben Christian.
So the Warriors strike first blood here. That's a little careless play by the Eagles defensively.
Yeah, Antonio Dunn overthrew the second baseman on the throw in, kind of running over to his right, kind of threw back across his body, got a little bit under the throw, overthrew second base, and then everybody kind of just watched the ball roll through the infield. Catcher Matt Hahn had to run up the line and field the ball, and then everybody took extra bases on that.
That ball is ripped into left field, and holding at third base will be Rodriguez. On at
Essex
first.
does a nice job of catching third baseman Dylan Kotsick.
On at first is Ben Christian.
Now batting for METHACTON, number 18, Danny Visnov.
Rich, I'm going to tell you, it looks like METHACTON's getting a lot better swings here at Chiodo now that they've seen him the second time around. As these balls are being hit with some mustard on them.
Yeah, well, Chiodo's really struggling with getting his curve over the plate, and when you basically know that you only have to look for one pitch,
And there's one pitch lined down.
a lot easier to hit.
That pitch is lined down the left field line, and METHACTON is going to tack on another run as a hard hit ball got past Dylan Kopstick. No chance for Kopstick on that play. But once again, a hard hit ball with eyes finds its way to the outfield.
Now batting for METHACTON, number 22, Jason Ekman.
Chiodo's starting to find the fatter part of the plate now, too. It seems like he's lost his confidence to hit those corners. He needs to do his best to stay on those fringes and get these guys to make weaker contact.
Well, he's yet to record an out, and it looks like he'll get one here as a fly ball is caught out there in right field by Nick Edling, and that'll lead to the first out of the top of the third.
Again, Nick Edling liking to show off his arm, nearly put that ball into the stands. Nice play by Kopstick to get over there and get that ball and track it down.
Now batting number 11, Connor Smith.
So trying to stay away from a big inning as METHACTON already has 2 runs on the board, 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the lineup who was threatening in the inning before, but Chiodo is able to start him with a good curveball, 0-1. Trying to keep the hitter off balance. Chiodo steps off as the lefty Connor Smith. Fly ball center field. Coming in for the play is Antonio Dunn. He makes the play. That'll be the second out of the inning. Didn't look like he got a great jump, but he made up for it. Actually fell forward, but was able to make the play.
Yeah, he kind of took a step back and then realized that the contact wasn't that good and busted it in, made a play.
For METHACTON, number 23, Josh Dubose.
He laid out to get that play coming in. That's a tough ball being hit right at you, especially when you don't see the level of contact.
So Dubose, with 2 outs, try to keep this inning alive. And again, some trouble for Chiodo trying to get the curveball over. Here's the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch, way outside for a ball. And you're right, Rich. He's a little quick there when he comes to that stretch. He is delivering the ball very, very quickly. Just doesn't seem to have a good rhythm right now.
He seems to be very concerned with those runners getting the lead on first base. In this situation, he really needs to pay a little bit more attention to the man on second base. That's going to be the indicator of what happens with the first base runner.
Dubose tires of waiting. He steps out. Chiodo wants a new baseball. Here's the stretch in the 2-0. The ball is hit to center field. Dunn barely has to move. He makes the play. And what could have been a nightmare is not, as they limit the damage. Just 2 runs from METHACTON, and then we'll go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Warriors.
26, Russell Watson. Number 22, Brian Whitfield. Number 29, J.J. Roden. Number 33, J.J. Hedgepeth.
Number 23, Ernesto Quintarilla.
Number 23, Wiki Perry. Number 21, Sean Harris. Number 20, Angel Lopez. And number 25, Fernando Mara. Now batting for Norristown, number 34, Matt Hahn.
So Hahn's going to lead off the bottom of the third with a hustle single as in a little inside outer to first base, and his good wheels are going to earn him an infield single, and that'll go down as the first hit of the game for Norristown.
Now batting for Norristown, number 27, Tyler Pastella.
So Pastella, who got on to start the game, but a base running blunder cut him out in between third and home plate, is now up to try to get something started for the Norristown Eagles here in the bottom of the third. Takes a curveball in the outside corner for a strike.
We have Chioke Bellamy is in as the runner for Matt Hahn, who was our catcher.
Normally catchers aren't known for running very well, but I tell you what, Rich, he got down the line in a hurry there.
Yeah, Matt's a very versatile player. He's caught, he's played third base, he's played pitcher.
That ball is ripped up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. 2 consecutive singles to start the bottom of the third for the Eagles, and they're in business. Talk about see the pitch, hit the pitch. There you go for Pastella, as that ball was ripped up the middle.
Question now for me is, will Sturgeon bunt the runners to second and third?
Now batting number 4, Dylan Kostick.
Now Dylan Kopstick gave himself up last time to move the runner. We'll see what happens here. And it looks like METHACTON was trying to get a little bit of information as holding the ball was Griffin on the mound. Kopstick did not give any information as far as what his plans were.
God, the fielders are in at the corners, the runners are in up the middle. This would be a perfect situation to show and then draw back.
Well, anything hit hard on the ground likely is going to get through. Griffin stares in, he gets his sign, and they almost try a pickoff play at second. Back easily was the pinch runner.
The other thing you could say is, if Dylan can show bunt here and get the third baseman to bite, Bellamy will be able to take third uncontested.
He is bunting, and it's another beautiful bunt. And it is bobbled there at first base, and just like that, Norristown has the bases loaded with nobody out. Put some pressure on the defense, let him make a mistake, and sure enough, Norristown has an opportunity to have a damaging inning.
That's pretty much a strategy of a lot of coaches at high school is, let's make them make the plays.
Now batting for Norristown, number 16, Tyler Gorman.
So you can't ask for anything more, Rich, as you got the bases loaded, the meat of your lineup coming up, and trailing 2-0 against the Warriors. That ball is ripped into left field, base hit. One run's going to score as they'll go station to station, and Norristown is on the board.
Now batting for Norristown, number 24, Nick Chiodo.
That was a real nice approach by Gorman. Knowing the pitcher wants to establish a first pitch strike, looking for a fastball, he sat on that fastball and ripped it right out into left field.
So the Eagles, who came into this inning with no hits, now have 3 hits, and they've been helped along by a error at first base by Jason Ekman. That ball is caught by Ekman. He overthrows the catcher. One run's going to score, and it looks like they will get the out at home plate, as trying to advance was Costello.
No, that was Copestick. Costello
Sorry,
scored.
Copestick. Nevertheless, it goes an RBI, but again, another error by first baseman Jason Ekman, as he's got the willies over there right now.
Yeah, a little disappointing that Chioda wasn't paying attention and recognizing that he could go to second with the play coming at the plate. Yes.
Now batting for Norristown, number 11, Matt Bates.
So just the first out of the inning, as the Eagles now have runners at the corners and a chance to take a lead. And again, you're right, Rich. The Eagles have been very, very aggressive this inning, going after that first pitch. Ball is popped up and playable. No infield fly roll, as that play is made by the first baseman Jason Ekman, and Norristown misses a chance to try to take a lead.
Here's a designated runner for the pitcher, Chioda, last name Turner,
Now batting for Norristown, number 7, Nick Edling.
as he broke on contact and had to hustle it back to first base.
So a pickoff play at first base and nearly picked off was the pinch runner, but back in with a second to spare. So once again, Norristown undertook to Nick Edling to try to get a 2-out hit and give the Eagles their first lead of the night. Another pickoff play, much back easier now.
Copestick hesitated going home on that play, and that's probably what cost him. If he had just run through and run straight to home when he saw that ball get away, he would have definitely been safe. But he paused coming around the third baseline and then broke for home.
Griffin misses high and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Nick Edling. Another throw over there at first base. I think Griffin came very close to picking off the runner earlier, and now he's convinced he has a shot to get him.
I would not be surprised to see a little single here by Bates.
Well, he stares in, and Griffin comes with a 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner for second. He breaks. There is no throw. And now we have 2 on and running in scoring position. And a single here would certainly give Norristown at least a 1 run, maybe a 2 run lead. Griffin comes with a pitch off the outside corner for a strike. Rich Campbell's not very happy with that call. Nevertheless, 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Nick Edling.
It was a very generous strike call.
Well, like you said, as long as they do it and they're consistent with it, it's all you can ask for, especially for high school baseball umpires. Edling fights off that one, stays alive, still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Edling needs to be thinking middle of the field, driving the ball up the middle. It seems like he's still pulling those hips out. He starts in an open stance. He never comes back to center, and that's been his biggest bugaboo.
We can see he's choking up here, and he waves and misses at a fastball, and that'll be it.
Chin high.
Nevertheless, Norristown comes back with 2 runs in their bottom half of the third. We'll go to the top of the fourth, 2-2.
Jennifer Christian, if you're missing your wallet, we have it. Please come to the snack stand.
Nice. That's a really good one. Really good one.
Let's see, number 5 from the back is Sheena Shields.
Now batting from METHACTON, number 5, Sheena Shields.
So top of the 4th. No scoring in the first 2 innings of the game. METHACTON, 2 runs in their top half of the 3rd. Norristown comes back with 2 runs in the bottom half of the 3rd. And both teams, Rich, can attribute some of the damage they've done to some poor play in the field.
Yeah, those are the kind of things you get in a high school game under the lights. Seeing the big crowd that we have out here enjoying a nice night of spring baseball.
And I will say, rarely does it look like you get a true hop here with this field.
Well, it does look like the goats may have been grazing a little bit to take the grass down off of its height.
Chiodo with a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone here to start the top of the 4th as he's fallen behind Shields 3-0. And he walks him on 4 pitches, and Chiodo a little upset with himself as that pitch was nowhere near the strike zone.
Definitely not the way you want to start an inning after you come back and score 2 to tie it in the bottom of the 3rd. You definitely don't want to go on a 4-pitch walk to start the top of the
Now
inning.
batting for METHACTON, number 7, Andrew McMoneagle.
And now we're facing the top of METHACTON's lineup again.
McMoneagle tries to lay one down, gets underneath a little bit, foul back.
That looked a little bit more like a bunt and run.
I would say certainly he was looking for a base hit there. That did not look like he was in sacrifice mode. So Shields the runner first. He's got 11 stolen bases this year.
Wow. Rabbit quick.
And he's very aggressive there over at first.
Hahn threatening to throw, but he's yet to pull the trigger. It's getting to be about time where he needs to show them that throw to first.
Chiodo misses high and away. And I think we're about a pitch away from Hahn showing off that gun and see if he can help out his battery mate and try to get an out here in the top of the 4th. Chiodo from the stretch and the pitch. And again, showing bunt. There we go. But back safely at first is Shields.
Hahn seems to be struggling a little getting the ball out of his glove on that throw to first.
Yeah, the transfer certainly is not very fluid right now. 3 balls and 1 strikes to Andrew McMoneagle, the leadoff hitter. And he hits one to shortstop. Underhand. They get an out at first. Oh, now they're going to call him safe. I don't know about that, Rich. That certainly looked like the transfer. I thought he caught it, and it was in the transfer that he dropped the ball.
I would definitely concur with you. It was on the transfer.
It doesn't look like anybody's coming out to argue for Norristown, and there's some confusion out there as it's clearly looked like the umpire signaled out first. And he's explaining himself to METHACTON. He should be explaining himself to Norristown that the METHACTON guy's still at second base, as there is a world of confusion going out there right now.
Yeah, Phil Collins, I think, wrote a song about this.
And after much confusion, it looks like the runner is now going to be ruled out, which is the correct call.
Now batting from METHACTON, number 2, Patrick O'Neill.
Yeah, the base umpire seemed to maybe like he was saying that he was out and on the transfer, but the way he did it, he flashed it as if it was a safe sign.
I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I saw him leaving a local establishment before this game, so I'm not sure. But
Well, you know, he had to get a sandwich at the Wawa. You can't umpire on an empty stomach. Throw
over the first, back easily.
That soft toss over to first base would have probably driven me absolutely nuts last year. You just have to make the throw normal. Even if the runner is back and there's no play, just make the regular play. Don't soft toss. And
Taking off for second base. Excellent throw by Hahn, but he stole that one on the pitcher as the slow delivery by Chiodo allows Mcmoneagle to take second base, and now that the Warriors have a runner in scoring position, just one out.
McMoneagle had a real good read on Chiodo's move, timed up his delivery, and did a great job getting to second base.
Ball is ripped up the middle, off of Chiodo. They'll try to throw the first, and they do get the out. So if you're scoring at home, that's 1-4-3.
For one out.
And now a chance for Chiodo to get out of Dodge here with any more trouble.
Now batting from METHACTON, number 27, Rodriguez.
So Chiodo, who's flirted with danger most of this game, has been able to avoid the big inning, has a chance here again to get out of an inning unscathed if he can find a way to retire Rodriguez. And it looks like he will not be able to do it as the ball, a towering fly ball, hit the center field. Dunn could not make the play, and it's going to be a triple. Actually, we'll have to wait and see how they score that, as Dunn was on his horse to try to get there, and he certainly made contact, but just could not come down with it.
Yay. He was a little out of control getting back on the ball. It kind of curved back behind him. The ball hit his glove and bounced out. Lack of body control contributing.
From METHACTON, number 35, Ben Christian.
Major League Baseball, obviously, I think they'd probably call that an error. We're playing high school baseball. I think we go and give the ruling on the field would be a hit there for Rodriguez. So nevertheless, whatever you score it, METHACTON has a 3-2 lead. And Chiodo with a fastball in the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. The windup, 1-1. Gets away from Hahn, and coming in to score is going to be Rodriguez, and it is now a 4-2 game.
That's why it's so important to get that runner to third base. Countless times in a season, you can just take a run on catchers not being able to make a play.
As the ball is in the dirt, and Hahn has done an excellent job keeping the ball in front of him, was unable to do so there. Popped him up. Infield playable. Underneath.
Oh,
is
and Pastella does not get
Costello.
under it. The ball bounces. Gorman is out there as well, and nobody's covering second as the runner advances to second. Nick Chiodo, again, maybe should have been a little bit more aware and gone out and covered second with both of the middle infielders out.
I think the press box here could use some spring cleaning. I'll have to talk to Mr. Palladino about that, as it's very difficult to see through several stains on the windows and make accurate calls.
I think my cousin Vinny had a questioning of a witness about the condition of his windows that is very similar to our press box. Oh, ball well struck to left field. Messick's on his horse, but corrals it, going back to deep left field. Runs under it nicely, took a great line, just ran right under it as if Carson Wentz was dropping a ball right into Alshon Jeffrey's lap.
So it does limit the damage, but nevertheless, 2 runs from METHACTON. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 4-2 Warriors.
Now batting for Norristown, number 14, Zakir Watson.
Bottom of the 4th, Warriors lead 4-2. Watson leading all for the Eagles as he'll try to get something started. And he grounds one in the hole. And
he's
once
going to beat
again,
that one out.
those famous Norristown hops is going to earn Watson a spot at first base. We'll have to see how they score it. Certainly another in-between hop, but
I think he would have beat that one out anyway. Basically, a ball hit into the hole, not hard. Shortstop had to range over quite a bit to make that play.
Now batting number 15, Cole Messick.
so Messick's
Good luck.
will try to
Yeah, please.
continue the threat here for the Eagles. As the teams have matched numbers so far, the first 3 innings of this game. Fastball in the inside corner for a strike. And Messick's behind the count, 0-1. Swing and a miss by Messick's there. As it looked like his back foot almost fell out from underneath him.
Yeah, big problem for Cole has always been the length of his swing. He has a very long swing and his footing. He tends to get out onto that front foot a little bit early.
Well, with 2 strikes, he'll have to shorten that swing, try to put the ball in play. Takes a fastball up and away. Might have been an eye-wash pitch here. Try to set up for something soft. Griffin, who's himself been in and out of trouble most of this game, but has limited the damages, hasn't had a whole lot of help in the field.
Griffin has pitched to contact. He's had a lot of soft hits, a lot of balls in between players, and guys maybe not making a clean pick of the ball.
We're pleased to announce the presence once again of Mike Santangelo, Norristown legend, in the booth with us. Mike, say hi to the people.
Hey, it's good to see everybody tonight. Great night for a game. Here, looks like we have a game, and hopefully Norristown can pull this one out.
And Maxis is retired. 1 out.
Hahn had a seeing eye single that started the Eagles' rally last inning. Hopefully he'll be able to advance that runner.
Excellent job there by the catcher, Danny Visnop, to keep that ball in front of him, as that was one of those 58.5-foot curveballs in the dirt.
Yeah, Zakir Watson definitely should have been looking at where that ball was landing and being a little more aggressive, trying to get it into scoring position.
Griffin, the set, and the 1-0. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and once again a very, very generous call by the home plate umpire. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Matty Hahn. 1 on. Norristown trails 4-2. Curveball is a beauty. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Hahn's problem as a 9th grader was he occasionally had trouble pulling the trigger on balls that were in the strike zone. It was almost as if he was freezing.
Well, he'll have to protect here at 1 ball and 2 strikes, and they're going to pull the chain on him there at home plate as the outside corner's struck again, and he is retired, second out of the inning.
Yes. Last year,
Now batting for Norristown, number 27, Tyler Costello.
one of our common problems that we talked about in my experience with the baseball program was that the kids did not adjust to the umpire. They often went with what should be a strike instead of what the umpire was calling a strike.
Well, with 2 strikes, certainly you know you got to protect, and for 2 consecutive batters, they have watched fastballs off the outside corner called strikes. Costello fouls it back and out of play. And I will recall very vividly last year, Mr. Campbell, that at least 24 baseballs seemed to find their way into the Stony Creek.
That would have been correct, Mr. Morris. We actually had to send athletic director Palladino back to the school to get more balls.
He wears many hats around here, Mr. Palladino.
He's a do-it-all kind of guy.
Speaking of that, the coaches haven't had raises in many, many years. We'll get in his ear about that a little bit later.
Yeah, he doesn't really have that power. That would be a school board vote.
1 ball and 2 strikes. I kid, folks, to anybody out there that thinks I'm serious.
Well, I know that the golf coach is grossly overpaid, so maybe they can take some money from him.
It's not comedy hour here, Mr. Campbell.
For those of you unaware, Mr. Morris is the golf coach.
All right, back to reality. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Norristown trails by 2 here in the bottom of the 4th on a beautiful night for baseball. Cecily Tynan finally got one right.
I don't think Cecily Tynan gets very much wrong.
So Griffin, long time getting the signal for here. Pistella doesn't step out as he's ready with a 1-2 pitch. And it is a fastball high and away, taking off for second base and getting there. Is Watson.
Nice move by Watson to steal second with 2 outs. This enables him to score on a ball that gets into the outfield if he really busts it hard.
That curveball is taken high. And what was an 0-2 count is now a 3-2 count on Pistella. And not so sure you're going to see the pitcher give in here with first base open.
I think Pastel will be sitting fastball.
We'll see what Griffin goes with. He stares in and gives him that fastball, and it is going to be in the hole for a base hit. We'll see if they send Watson. They will. The throw to home plate is going to be safe. And it looks like Watson's a little bit dinged up. There was some contact between the catcher and Watson. However, it certainly looked like Watson was well in his right to try to get his way to home plate.
He was within the line. The ball and the catcher came up the line to catch the ball. The runner was within the line of
Now batting
third
number
base.
4, Dylan Copestick.
That stolen base, again, a key. Watson being aggressive and getting the stolen base with 2 outs, and then that single by Costello brings that run in.
Ooh, pitch is taken high and into Copestick.
Just a bit inside.
And with that throw home, Costello able to take second base. And with another single here, Norristown has a chance to even the score at 4.
That's the kind of player I talk about when I talked about Costello earlier. Not afraid to be 0-2. Works the count back full, works himself into a fastball count, drills the ball into left field.
Ball's taken inside.
Then takes second base on the throw home.
Well, we talk about unselfish. We'll talk about Dylan Copestick, who's given himself up twice tonight to move the base runners. 2 excellent bunts down the first base line. He was rewarded last time after the ball was bobbling. He was able to leg it out. Big swing and a miss at a fastball. It was a good pitch to hit there, but Copestick a little bit late.
And you know, Coach Morris, that Dylan Copestick, this is his secondary sport. He is an all-state bowler.
He is an all-state bowler. He's also a member of the golf team and also will be playing golf in college. So just like our esteemed athletic director, Tony Palladino, Dylan Copestick wears many hats around the Norristown community. Copestick fouls that one back and out of play, and we'll see if he tries to choke up and just put the ball in play here. As it looks like he's a little bit late on that fastball, Rich.
Be nice to see him just take that ball right up the middle.
And he's able to make contact, but the ball is hit down the third base line, and it is a foul ball. Almost an excuse-me swing there by Copestick.
Yeah, it looked like he was in a self-defense mode, afraid that he was going to get hit. Kind of was a backdoor curveball, kind of broke across, and he was bailing on the ball and kind of brought his bat around and just put the ball in play.
What about the old Chase Utley turn your back and go to first base on that play right there?
Yeah, well, some people don't like to get hit.
That ball is ripped off the third base coach.
Apparently, he has a problem with Coach Sturgeon, making him bunt the first 2 times up as he lines a ball down the third baseline and hits Coach Sturgeon.
I know Dylan Copestick very well. There is no personal vendetta whatsoever.
That we think of.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. Norristown trails by 1. The stretch in the 2-2, high and inside. And the count is run full. So Norristown has done an excellent job of working Griffin here so far in the 4th, as he's up to 67 pitches. Now the payoff pitch. Popped him up, and it is going to be... It's going to find the ground. As excellent job by Danny Visnov to try to get there, but just didn't have enough hang time for the play to be made.
Yeah, that ball found a little bit of green. Not METHACTON green.
Nevertheless, Copestick continues to battle here, making Griffin work. This could pay dividends later on in the game. Now the stretch in the 3-2. Ripped up the middle, but a great play by Griffin to knock it down. He'll throw over to first and retire the batter. Norristown gets a run, and we'll head to the top of the 5th, 4-3 Warriors. Anybody show up for 18 or what? Oh, yeah, 3, 2, 4. 2 right through. I don't know them. Siani, 3 is maybe. I would say 3. Yeah. The Rice girls, I don't know. Their test is tomorrow, right? No, Thursday. What period? 8 to 12. So you won't have your period. No, you'll have
Tyson.
So we've had a few moves made by both managers here. We'll try to get those known to you shortly here. A little difficult for us to try to decipher who's in and who's out of the game.
Looks like it's Chioke Bellamy in left field. In for Cole Messick.
Now Chiodo starts the top of the fifth with a strike.
The rest of the lineup looks to be the same defensively.
Wind up, and that curveball is a beauty. No balls and 2 strikes.
Chioke Bellamy in left field.
As the windup and the 0-2. That misses high and away as Matt Hahn knew right away that that pitch had no chance of seeing the strike zone. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. And good news for Nick Chiodo as he retires the leadoff batter.
I believe that was his first strikeout of the evening.
Number 11,
Right field.
Connor Smith.
So Connor Smith now up at the dish. Lefty on lefty. And a curveball on the outside corner. And Rich, you know, it is tough for us to see, but it certainly looks like the high strike is being called here tonight.
Well, that one definitely appeared a little bit high, but
Good news for the pitchers. Chiodo misses a little bit low for a ball. And the windup in the 1-1. That ball is ripped into right field. And a solid single there for Connor Smith as he is a one-out base runner for the Warriors.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 23, Josh Dubose.
The 1-on, 1-out, METHACTON. A narrow 4-3 lead. Curveball in the dirt. 1-0. Stretch in the pitch. On the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
nice delivery there by Chiodo, evening the count at 1-1. Chiodo's starting to get up there in pitch count. He's right up at around 75 to 77 pitches.
Bit of a quick pitch there. And again, he misses way outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Chiodo's getting very close to a balk with runners on base as he tries to rush his motion to first. Or to
This
home, I
is
should
way
say.
away. 3 balls and a strike. So Chiodo, who looked like he had masterful control to start this inning, solid single by Smith, has now fallen behind Dubose, and certainly doesn't want to see that lead grow anymore. He's got to try to make a pitch here to Dubose, and he cannot. The ball is it's a few feet away from Hahn. Runners will not advance, but METHACTON will have runners at first and second with 1 out.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 5, Seamus Shields.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change as they bring right fielder Nick Edling in to go to the mound. They're going to move Zakir Watson from first base out to right field. And I believe Nick Chiodo is picking up his first baseman's mitt and will move to first base. We used to like to call this puzzle square baseball as you tried to keep your best players and best fielders in the game by just shuttling them to different positions.
Now pitching for Norristown, number 7, Nick Edling.
Now with the new PIAA rules on pitching, pitchers are on strict pitch count rules. So a lot of times you have to use your best pitcher in more of a relief role. That way you can get him into more games in a week. You'll use your secondary pitchers to start a game and hopefully eat innings, and then you'll bring your best pitchers in at the end to keep the game at a standstill so that you can get a win. In a tight game like this is a good move by Coach Sturgeon. Hopefully Edling can deliver.
Well, very difficult for us here in the press box to keep tabs of this. So this puzzle move that you just made has going to make a mockery of my scorecard here.
Yeah, well, apparently the runners are not coming up with the information, and the umpires don't feel that you're a necessary component of this game the way you've been commenting on the strike zone.
I believe my criticism has been fair and justified. Rich, we see Edling into the game now, obviously a right-hander compared to Chiodo, the left-hander. What does Edling bring as far as style concerns compared
Edling
to
brings probably a mid to upper 80s fastball. He has a very sharp breaking ball, but a lot of times he struggles with his control. He pitches quick. He has good stuff, probably the best stuff on the Norristown Eagles pitching staff. Last year, to open the season against the Upper Dublin Cardinals, he had a no-hitter into the 7th inning of the game, in which some errors cost us.
Well, very important here to try to keep the deficit where it is at 1. This is a 4-3 METHACTON lead.
With 1 out. Runners on first and second.
Edling will work from the stretch. And the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. You can definitely see a lot more velocity here with Edling compared to Chiodo. Edling gets his sign. And the 0-1 pitch. It is a fastball, and Hahn can't find it, and the runners are going to advance. Edling is actually the one who gets it, as Hahn could not catch up with that fastball. Well, I don't know if they're going to call that a wild pitch or a pass ball, Rich, but certainly a mistake by Norristown.
I would think it would have to be a passed ball. That went right over Hahn's glove and hit the umpire in the face mask. Deflected back to the right side here.
I know
Edling was on top of it and hustled over to get the ball as Hahn had lost sight of the ball.
Umpires are none too happy when those types of mistakes occur.
Yeah, they're a little unhappy with the catcher.
And a chopper off the glove of Edling, and there's not going to be a play anywhere, as Edling, who plays baseball, not basketball, not tall enough to come up with that one, and METHACTON is going to take a 5-3 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. A little bit of unlucky again here, Mr. Campbell, as that ball was just chipped over the head of the pitcher.
Yeah, a couple of seeing eye hits here have helped the METHACTON Warriors out this evening. Seems to be a change in the batting order. They're bringing somebody in off the bench to hit. I believe they said number 7. I could be wrong. It's number 3 for number 7.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 3, Nick Wheeler.
So Nick Wheeler off the bench now, hitting for Andrew McMoneagle. As with runners at first and second, METHACTON already holding a 2-run lead. They'll look to increase that here in the top of the 5th. Fastball on the inside corner for a strike.
I think Nick's number should be 18. then he could be 18 Wheeler.
Your mind is always at work, Mr. Campbell. No balls and one strike. Curveball. Beauty. As that started right at the batter and crosses off the inside part of the plate.
Edling's really working the inside of the plate. And that seems to be a place where the pitchers can live this evening, as the umpire likes to give that inside strike.
Lots of choices now with an 0-2 pitch as he throws gas right by him. And down goes Wheeler, and that's the second out of the inning.
He set Wheeler up really well by going inside twice and then going to the outside corner.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 2, Patrick O'Neill.
So Patrick O'Neill, number 2 hole hitter, good contact hitter. Takes a fastball off the inside corner. And it certainly looks like Edling has no problems trying to pitch inside. Pickoff play at second base, and again, the soft toss, the one that you had stated earlier, would give you gray hair if you had hair.
I do have hair. It is just not on my head.
Now the windup. Runner breaks for third. The throw is not in time, and a stolen base, and time is requested and granted by the umpire. So the Warriors will now have runners on the corners, and certainly a single now is going to double up Norristown 6-3.
METHACTON's manager giving the runner at first a little bit of a hard time, pointing to his head and then pointing to the man who stole third base, saying, "Why were you not stealing second on that throw?"
Well, it's a moot point if Edling can find a way to get out of it now, and he will break for second right now, and Hahn doesn't even bluff a throw over. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Warriors. And imperative for Edling to try to find a way out. Norristown down just 2 runs, and still a few innings to work with. Edling from the stretch and the pitch. Nearly hits him. Now, Rich, we see Edling with runners at second and third going from the stretch. He obviously has the option of going from the windup. Your thoughts from the stretch and the windup for Nick here?
I think Nick's feeling that maybe he has a little better control out of the stretch.
You were saying?
As he
4.
walks the runner.
Ball 4 high and inside. Base was open, though, so still some wiggle room here for Edling, as if he can retire the next batter. The damage is limited.
Number 27.
Now batting for the Warriors, Demetrio Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, if you'll remember, hit a towering fly ball to center field that Dunn wasn't able to come up with. Came around to score.
He liked the looks of that pitch as he was swinging from his heels, and I think his bat may have landed up on the roof. He was swinging so hard.
A lot of ducks in the pond out there, and sometimes kids will get anxious. The 0-1. And again, another hefty hack by Demetrio Rodriguez, and Edling's got the jump on him, 0-2.
Edling has pumped 2 balls right by him, and he has not been on time.
So Edling, with the bases loaded, works from the windup. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. High cheese. And what could have been a lot worse. Edling comes in, limits the damage. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 5-3 Warriors.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 16, Tyler Gorman.
Gorman had a RBI single last time up. Hopefully he can set the table for the rest of the Eagle batters this afternoon.
We're in the bottom of the fifth. Eagles trail by 2. And Gorman takes a fastball high. Now the windup in the 1-0 pitch. Cued to shortstop. Play is made over there by Patrick O'Neill, a slick fielding shortstop, as he did get a generous hop. And Gorman is retired for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 24, Nick Chiodo.
So Chiodo, who certainly battled out there on the mound, going to try to get something started offensively for the Eagles. He takes a fastball off the inside corner. He didn't look too thrilled with that call. Griffin, the windup, and the 0-1. And again, another play for the shortstop, O'Neill, as he will throw and retire the Eagle runner. And there are 2 outs.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 11, Matt Bates.
So just a couple of pitches and 2 quick outs here to start the bottom of the 5th for the Eagles. As Griffin has been very, very efficient. Starts Bates with a fastball in the inside corner, 0-1.
Bates is DHing for Antonio Dunn this evening.
Now Griffin from the windup and the pitch. As that ball is hit out into left field.
Finds a gap and
it
over
is
the left fielder's shoulder.
Going to be extra bases for Bates as he will stroll into second base. Not the best route taken by left fielder Andrew Mcmoneagle, but nevertheless a clean double for Bates and another run in scoring position for the Norristown Eagles.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 7, Nick Edling.
Looks like the outfielders tonight are struggling with reading the ball and the lights.
Now, you certainly got to think that's unfamiliar circumstances for these guys under the lights in this field. Pop up to right field. And Josh Dubose barely has to move, and the Eagles are retired. So, no runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left. We will go to the top of the 6th. 5-3 Warriors.
You can take over here.
That'll be like a little special we have. Mike Santangelo.
Pasta and sausage
chef
tonight,
corner.
too. We did a...
Not voluntary? John, do they still perform at the bowl or whatever that is? They still do that stuff? Is there? Is that what it is?
We can interview Mark as an alumni.
Yeah. So Mark, you used to run the halls of Norristown and cause havoc everywhere. Tell us, do you want to apologize now or later?
Later. Later.
Now batting for METHACTON, number 35, Ben Christian.
So Ben Christian is going to lead it off for the Warriors, who hold a 2-run lead over Norristown as we start the 6th. When we get to the bottom of 6, it will be the home run payoff inning. We'll draw a lucky name here, and they will receive 2 free tickets to the Norristown High School graduation. One ball and no strikes. Edling, the windup, and the pitch. That ball is ripped to second base. Play is made by Costello. As I thought that ball was hit a little bit harder than it was, Rich.
Yeah, a little bit of a soft liner, kind of a humpback.
Now batting for METHACTON, 18, Danny Bisnow.
We're getting a nice glare off of the well-cleaned windows.
I was told by our athletic director to not make mention of the condition of the press box here. So if you could.
Well, if there are any contractors who are willing to donate services, I'm sure the township will be happy to talk to you.
That ball is hit up the middle, and gloving it is Costello, but the throw is not going to be in time. As almost an unbelievable backhand play by Nick Edling, the ball escapes the glove, and it's going to be a 1-out base runner for the Warriors.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 29, Jake Tyson.
So 1 on and 1 out now for the Warriors. 5-3, METHACTON. Edling. The stretch. And the pitch misses high and away for a ball, 1-0. METHACTON has doubled up Norristown with hits, 10-5 so far, but they've also doubled them up with errors, 4-2. So it's been a choppy game to say the least here at Latshaw McCarthy Field.
But moving at a great pace. So we're sitting here in the top of the 6th, and it's a mere 8:37.
I mentioned earlier that Mike Santangelo, Norristown alum, is in the booth with us, and we have a little special with Mike when he joins us. He tells us about his meal. I understand you made an Italian meal tonight, Mike. Is that correct?
That would be a little ziti with sausage.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. How did that work out, Mike?
It was very good, very good. I take what I learned from my Norristown, from the people here, the east end of Norristown, and cook mainly Italian.
Excellent. Maybe we could look forward to seeing that recipe online someday.
Mike, I have a question. Do you prefer the hot sausage, the sweet sausage, or a blend of both?
He likes the sweet sausage. He just gave us the thumbs up for sweet sausage. We got a foul ball backing out of play. Runner will return to first base. As Jake Tyson, who came into the game in the top of the 5th inning, lays off an outside fastball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the lanky left fielder. Popped him up.
Straight up.
Looks like it's playable. Tyson is frustrated, and the play is not made. No infield fly. They will get the force at second. And, Rich, I got to tell you, there's no doubt about it that the Lights have to be playing games with these kids, as that, granted, was a very, very high fly pop-up, but a play that you would think in normal circumstances is made 99 out of 100 times.
Yeah, it looked like Dylan kind of overran it, and the ball drifted back on him. as he had to reach back behind him to try and make that catch.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 11, Connor Smith.
Ball definitely had a lot of spin on it, which probably played with that that drift back.
And the extremely slow soft toss to first base. Just a little, I know you're over there toss. Now the stretch. And batter tires are waiting. I will tell you, the game has slowed up a little bit since they put Edling in the game. He is a little bit more deliberate out there than Chiodo. Certainly can work to his favor to keep the batters off balance. And
Oh,
that pitch
that's
is
a rope.
ripped into right field, and that's going to be trouble.
It's going to
And
go
it's
all
gonna
the
be
way
at
to the
least extra
fence.
base. It's going to be at least a triple. As coming in the score is Tyson. And over at third with a stand-up triple is Connor Smith. And is now a 6-3 METHACTON lead.
That was a fastball that sat right in the middle of the plate, and he just turned on it and roped it down the line. Zakir Watson not able to get over there in time to shut it down, and the ball rolled all the way to the fence at Latshaw, 340 feet away.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 34, Jake Morello.
So Jake Morello into the game now for METHACTON, and you certainly said it right, Rich. Right off that bat, that was going to be trouble. No chance for Watson to get to that ball.
Imperative that Edling get out of this inning without giving up another run.
And the Eagles have struggled offensively. Just 5 hits so far today, 1 extra base hit, and they've certainly been helped along by some misplays in the field by METHACTON. You got to think going down more than 3 runs is going to be a tall order for this Eagle offense to get back in it.
Yeah, what they'll have to hope for is a combination of putting the ball in the play and METHACTON players being a little more generous with the glove.
Edling back at the windup, and he looks like connects.
hit the runner.
He did hit the runner, and none too happy was Morello with that. Certainly no intent there by Edling.
Runners at first and third with 2 out. Score being 6-3, METHACTON.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 5, Seamus Shields.
Is now a runner in. 23 for the batter.
So Shields now the batter with 2 outs. 3-run lead for the Warriors as Norristown tries to stay alive in this Pac-10 matchup. Edling will go back to the windup with the runners on the corners. And a fastball swing and a miss by Shields.
Looks like he's going to identify this batter the same way he did the end of the previous inning, where he looks like he's just going to throw heat and say, hit it if you can.
Well, you certainly got to be concerned about putting a curveball on the ground. I mean, Madian is an excellent catcher, but
Oh, he's
the
picked
ground
off
here,
the
they do
runner
have
at
a runner,
first.
and they're going to come home, and they're
And
going
they
to
did
get a
not pay
run.
attention. The
So
run
it looks
scores.
like they should be able to get an out here, and they do. The out is recorded, but the runner from third, Connor Smith, who had the triple, was able to come around and score, and that'll take us into the bottom of the 6th with METHACTON holding a 7-3 lead.
Means nothing. Well, what he needs to do, he needs to be watching the runner at third the whole time he's running that runner.
Earlier, we were talking, there should have been an RBI. Earlier, remember we called the bases were loaded, the ground ball to first base. It is in the fielder's choice, but you can't assume the out, so would you get the RBI? Yeah, it's like the Little League World Series. Yeah.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 14, Zakir Watson.
So Zakir Watson trying to get things started for the Eagles as he will take a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. We mentioned earlier that this is the home run payoff inning. And Watson is going to start off the inning with a single to center field. Solid single for Watson to get the inning started for the Eagles.
Now batting for Norristown, number 22, Chioke Bellamy.
Now Chioke Bellamy into the game for Norristown. As Eagles in desperate need of some offense here, trailing by 4 with just 6 outs left. Takes the fastball on the outside corner. So we've drawn a name. John Brady has been selected as our home run payoff winner. Should a player hit a home run in the bottom half of this inning, John Brady's going to go to Norristown's graduation. Curveball just off the inside corner. One ball and one strike to Bellamy. Swing and a miss. And he's in the hole, 0-2. Rich, certainly looks like Bellamy, he's not shy to get on top of that plate.
Now, Bellamy has really quick hands. Things we worked with him on last year were his weight distribution, stepping into the ball. He tended to be very stationary in his stance and used all hands.
Well, chokes up here and takes a fastball just a bit high. And I got to tell you, a pitch I think has been called a strike at one point tonight. But nevertheless, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Maybe more than once.
And Bellamy just looking to put the ball in play here. Norristown in desperate need of base runners. And he's able to, as the ground ball to third. Play is made at second. And no chance to get Bellamy, the speedy runner, at first. And it'll go down as a fielder's choice.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 34, Matt Hahn.
So Matt Hahn up for the Eagles now, 1 out, trailing 7-3. And you mentioned earlier, Rich, about putting the ball in play and hoping METHACTON's going to make some mistakes, and they certainly have, and they have a chance at 2 right now. And the 1-6-3 double play is going to see METHACTON take their 4-run lead to the top of the 7th. We'll go to the top of the 7th. METHACTON 7, your Norristown Eagles 3.
I had some, holy mackerel. I had some pasta with sausage as well. We did a pasta medley of penne and wagon wheels.
And I didn't have to get rigatoni.
Oh, my
I guess I
God.
did a sauteed, took the sausage out of the casing, sauteed it up, with garlic, and with sauce, mixed it in, put it in the oven, almost like
My
a corn
problem
dog.
is that I have vegetarians in the house.
So do I, man.
It's the worst. I can't even cook the pasta with the meat in it. So I have to cook the sausage separate, and then I slice it down. I throw the sauce. One, my youngest son and my wife. You gotta, hey, at least you know while they're in high school they don't like the bragout.
changes.
And what the Norristown anglers decided?
She goes bail bonds.
Yes. Or 33.
Yeah, they're on a rainbow.
No, the Phillies aren't playing today.
Yeah, they are. Playing 4 game series in Chicago. Yeah. It's raining.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 33, Perry Corda.
So Perry Corda into the game now for METHACTON, as we have reached the 7th inning, and we have reached the 7th inning in an astonishing 1 hour and 49 minutes. METHACTON 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th. Accounts for their 7 runs. Norristown 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th for their 3 runs.
This game is moving along at a brisk pace, reminiscent of the Halliday, Hamels, Cliff Lee days of get the ball, throw strikes, get off the field.
Those were the glory days. Not so much anymore in Philadelphia, though they did do an unbelievable job of hosting the NFL draft this weekend. Ground ball, second base. Coming up
Costello
with it.
rounds that up,
Costello
delivers to first.
he makes the play, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yep.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 3, Nick Wheeler.
Mr. 18.
Nick Wheeler, who
Yes.
again came into this game in the top of the 4th.
Mr. Hot.
Ooh, as that pitch is
Just
thrown
a bit
behind
outside.
the head. Thrown behind the head of Wheeler. And certainly, again, no intent, as it looked like it was a breaking ball. Edling from the windup and the 1-0 pitch. That ball is ripped into left field, and the play is made out there in left field
By
by
Chioke
Bellamy. Line drive, sometimes the hardest ones are hit right at you, but Bellamy comes up with that play.
Looked like he was struggling picking it up coming out of the outfield and then caught it as it crossed over the infield. 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Yeah, number 2.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 2, Patrick O'Neill.
Patrick O'Neill, the batter now for METHACTON, as Nick Edling has done an excellent job
Straight up
trying
and
to
coming back out of play.
retire the Warriors in
Joining-
the top half of the 7th. And he's got the jump here, 0-2.
Joining a couple of his friends down there in the Stony Creek was that ball.
So no balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Edling, the windup, and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And a very comfortable 7th inning for Edling, as we will go to the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Eagles, 7-3 METHACTON. The second this is over, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Just to, I don't want to deal with any others from the traffic, but at least getting out of that parking lot. Do you park across the street? Where do you park?
No, I'm right here.
Are you?
I'm gonna probably go.
I parked across the
Did
street.
you? Yeah. Well, last time I was going to park there, I was like, foul balls. You never know. Man.
That's why I didn't park here. I
Yeah.
parked over there.
I'll probably go like 2 out. I'll probably get out.
got a new pitcher here, 29. Nope, 19. He's gonna go in the distance. He's going. I think.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll drive by and see a game going on. I know it's not high school.
And then the A's play here too, right? Or Diamonds, yeah.
Who's this, Rich? 27. Tyler Gorman? Is it? 27. Tyler Costello.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 27, Tyler Pastella.
Eagles will try and start a rally here. Top of the order, Costello leading it off.
So 3 outs for the Eagles to play with. They got to get 4 to try to get the extra innings, 5 to win it. And Pastella, doing what good leadoff hitters do, is take a pitch, but it is a strike on the outside corner. And ball misses high and away. Zach Griffin, who started this game and has been pretty solid, it seems to have gotten stronger as the game has gone on, or he's going to try to finish what he started. 1 ball and 1 strike to Pastella. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Nice, easy service hop, and the play is made by Patrick O'Neill, as those in-between hops that we saw in the first and second inning have been service hops here in the 6th and 7th. We're going to say goodbye to Mike Santangelo and thank him for joining us once again this year.
This would be Dylan Copestick.
Now batting for the Eagles, Dylan Copestick.
So Dylan Copestick, and what could potentially be his last at-bat here at Latshaw McCarthy Stadium. Dylan is a senior, and will be moving on to an higher learning in a couple of months, as will many other Norristown graduates. Misses high and inside, as Copestick's been a thorn in the side of METHACTON tonight with a couple of sacrifice bunts. Reached base, scored a run, and also made Griffin throw about 9 pitches in the bottom of the 5th. Takes a fastball over, 2 balls and 1 strike. Griffin from the windup. And the 2-1 pitch. That's a little bit low for a ball. Griffin wanted it. You can see that little knee bend, didn't quite get it. So Eagles need base runners any way possible. Fastball on the outside corner. That was generous right there. As we could see clearly, that was well off the plate. And Copestick did the right thing and took it. Now he'll have to protect anything close. Now the payoff pitch. That ball is cued into, almost cued into center field. It was caught. What an unbelievable play by Patrick O'Neill, as he was fully extended and came up with that play. Surprise, I strained a lat just watching him, and it looks like he is a little bit gingerly walking back to the.
It was very Odell Beckham-esque.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 16, Tyler Gorman.
Soft liner that was hit out to center.
So Gorman, the last chance for the Eagles tonight, as he takes some chin music inside. One ball and no strikes. That ball is cued to first base, and this might do it. And the first baseman's going to take it himself. Gorman is retired, and that'll do it, as the METHACTON Warriors have defeated the Norristown Eagles here at Latshaw McCarthy Field by a score of 7-3.
Eagles just ran out of offense there, Coach Morris.
Just 6 hits on the night for the Eagles, 11 from METHACTON, and a strong effort by the Eagles, but just couldn't come up with the victory. For Rich Campbell and production by John Doyle, we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. Good night, folks.
Have a great evening.